Oh my goodness, hello everybody, welcome, it's another live stream, it's time for another new video. Hello and welcome to a new video Sunday. That's what we got going on today. Hello, it's time to talk about the Wizard of Oz and Wicked and the vast queerness of Oz. Oh my goodness, let me get rid of this scarecrow for just a moment, he'll be back, don't worry. Where is he? Streamlabs alert box? Nope, that's not him. He's in here someplace. Maybe it's there, there we go, okay. Hello to Barb J. Good to see you again. And oh, you're number one fandom. Look at that. Yeah, YouTube has started giving everybody like scores. It's like the old. Do you remember the old website Fabulous? There are probably people in the chat who are younger than this website. The short version of the story is like back in the old days, 2007, 2008, maybe a little later. There's this website that literally in San Francisco, maybe everywhere, it was ranking, like you would join, and it was for gays, for gay men, and you'd get a number score of how literally it was a number score for how popular you were as a gay man. And as you can imagine, that inspired discourse. Anyway, so now YouTube is giving that to you, the gift of numeric scoring. Hello to TGAP Mama Cat. You got sent home early because of deep snow in the Mitten State. Wow, wait. Yeah, I guess we're getting into winter, huh? Yeah, it's winter time. That means I want you to send me videos. I want you to send me videos. Everybody, this is your assignment. Send me videos of puppies experiencing snow for the first time. As one of my favorite genre of film is puppies that are seeing snow for the first time. Every winter we get a new batch of them. They're my favorite. Speaking of snow, look at all this dandruff on top of me. Where's that coming from? Can I get rid of that? Nope, my snow button is broken. I can't get rid of the snow. I don't know how it works. Let's see. Oh, Top Fam, hello to you. Love your videos. Weighty yet light. Weighty yet light. That's what my Grinder profile says. Hello to Ben Jenny. I'm glad you could make it back in. Ginger Fox, hello to you. AZ Guy, goodness gracious. So glad you're here. Let's see. I'm just scrolling the chat to catch up. Kaboombox, hello. Pokeraj, hello to you. Hello to you, Debbie. And Chris and Freddie. Can't wait to see your latest expose. Oh, my latest expose. Get ready. Put your original Wizard of Oz DVDs in the paper shredder. Yes, watch only me. Do not watch any other media but me. Shred all other media. I have a poster of that picture of Divine and Pink Flamingos. Wait, which one? Was there a picture of Divine up? Oh, yes, in the starting soon. Yes, there she is. Wait, hold on. There she is with that makeup. She's wearing, like, so you see that, like, the wig is so far back on her forehead? The wig is perched so far back on her forehead, over there on the far right. The wig is perched so far back on her forehead because she wanted to draw her eyebrows really big, and the wig was getting in the way, so they kept sliding the wig back down her head until she had enough room for her eyebrows. Oh, who else do we have? Nerdy Side, hello to you. Hello to the Mad Yokai. Glad you can make it in. It's always so nice to see, like, people who are coming back, people who are repeat viewers. It makes me so happy that folks are like, this is good, I'll come back, and not like, oh, this was a mistake. I'm getting out of here. I'm gonna go watch, I don't know, what do people watch now? I'm gonna go watch Fortnite videos. That's sure. That's timely. It's snowing in Matsapar. It is because look, I have a snow button on my stream controller thingy, and it used to be HD Love. Thank you for the follow. I have this snow thing, and I used to have a button that got rid of it, and the button got disconnected. Oh wait, hold on. There it goes. The button stopped working, so I have to go get into the guts to get rid of the snow. Love to get into the guts. Hello to YouTube. Hello to Seth Blood. Hello to, oh my goodness, GR95DC. Look at this. The scores are changing. What is it? What a weird feature. Joe, hello to you. Real puppies or pups too? Look, Seath Blood. Anyone enjoying the snow is a good time as far as I'm concerned. I just want to see people having a good time. People and dogs. Dogs are people too. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about the Wizard of Oz. We are here to talk about the Wizard of Oz and Wicked and the gays. I don't know if you've all noticed. Have you all noticed this? That the gays seem to love the Wizard of Oz? That it has been a cornerstone of queer culture? This is something that I think is maybe more opaque to the younger gays. Like, what I've noticed is that there's a cohort for whom Wicked is so important. Wicked is so foundational. It's like, I love this movie. I love this story. I grew up with it. And then for others, they were already grown up by the time that Wicked came out. So they're like, there's other things that fill that space, like Judy fandom and Wizard of Oz fandom. When I was coming out, when I was a young gay, for sure, 100%, like, The Wizard of Oz, there was just something in the air where, like, you go to a gay bookstore and they will have a copy of The Wizard of Oz for sure. They will also have Wizard of Oz ornaments. They'll have Wizard of Oz greeting cards. They'll have Glinda merch. They'll have wands. Like, The Wizard of Oz was just so closely associated with gay men. Not queers, but gay men particularly. Queer people too, of course, but especially, like, gay men were just like, friend of Dorothy, as, I'm seeing a lot of people mention in the chat. Friends of Dorothy is slang. Now, here's the thing. There is a history to Friends of Dorothy that I think not a lot of people are aware of. We'll get into that, don't worry. Anyway, so there's that. There's the close association with the queers and Wizard of Oz. And also, I don't know if you've noticed this, there's a new Wicked movie coming out. That just, let's see, what do I have it? I do. So the first one came out a year ago. There, I've got the theatrical version and the sing-along version. Has anybody been to a Wicked sing-along? I think that would be fun. Beep, beep, boop, beep, boop. Maybe for the first one, not so much for the second. There's a lot of... The second one is a little... No Good Deed would be fun to sing with the crowd. I would have a good time singing No Good Deed. Anyway. Blah, 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 blah. What was I saying? Yes. Okay, so The Wizard of Oz always, for a long time, not always, for a long time associated with the gays. Wicked, connecting with the gays in a very different way. So anyway, new video about why that is and how that happened and the whole vast history of it. So that's going to be coming your way in about 50 minutes. The new video is premiering today. Cherry Pigeon says, The Cowardly Lion. Here's the thing, is like, in the movie, in the 39, the Judy Garland, The Wizard of Oz, when you think The Wizard of Oz, and you think about that movie that's broadcast on TV every year, and the ruby slippers, and We're Not in Kansas Anymore, and I'll Get You My Pretty, all that stuff, when you think of that movie, you think of... when you think of The Wizard of Oz, you think of that movie. That is the movie that you think of. And it is so interesting to me that Wicked has come along now. Let me, grab it. So I've got a vast stack of research here. Let me get this out of the way. Here are, just some of the books that I was looking at for this video that we're about to see. When you look at Wicked and what Wicked has done to change people's idea of what those characters are and what they've been through and why they're important, etc., etc. This book has done so much that so many other projects have tried. Like, there have been so many interpretations of Oz. There have been so many different versions. There's the Galaxy of Oz, which is an anime about Oz, inspired by Oz. There's Return to Oz, of course, with Fairuza Balk and who else? Who else is there? It's got a good cast. I can't remember now. Mombi is played by somebody interesting at one point. Anyway, doesn't matter. There's so many different Oz's. There's like the Oz. There's the what was it called? Was it called the Emerald City? There was like an Oz series on Showtime in the 90s. So many of those. And then Wicked is the one that became a phenomenon. And once again, I think it's because, not to be like it all goes back to the queers, but I think it's because Wicked is written by a gay man. And it's got a lot of gay stuff intentionally put into it, and I think it shows. I think you notice. I think the gays understand these stories in a way that mainstream cishet audiences may not. Hello to M. Frederick M. Glad you could make it in. Lovely to see you here. Kel McDonald has sung Wicked songs at karaoke. That does sound like fun. The two things that there are many things. Okay, many things that I think would be fun at karaoke. One is just like, it's just Wicked. It's only Wicked. And I think you could sustain that for maybe like half an hour or so, because there's some songs in Wicked that I don't think would be so much fun for karaoke. What else? Boop, 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 boop. Oh, and the other is Steven Universe. I've always thought that like a Steven Universe karaoke night would be a lot of fun. Like cosplay, the whole thing. Yeah. Out of all the songs in Wicked, my initial CBD says, out of all the songs in Wicked, No Good Deed is my number one. Wow, that is interesting because, obviously For Good, everybody loves For Good as the duet, and Defying Gravity is the big anthem. Here's another thing. We're going to talk about this. So I got this new video coming your way in about 45 minutes, and Pokeraj, I know you're going to start teasing me about like having uploaded the wrong one. So one of the things about Wicked the musical is what an anthem Defying Gravity is, right? Like, I think we're all familiar with that. You know, the big Act 1 finale. Elphaba gets up on there, on the crane, and she's lifted up. And she sings a song about how she's doing her own thing now. She's going to stop trying to get everyone's approval. She's accepted herself. She's not going to accept limitations. Like, what an empowering song. And there's Idina Menzel originating the role on Broadway. I mean, even originating the role off Broadway before. I guess technically it's off Broadway because it's not on. But originating the role in San Francisco before it was on Broadway. Originating the role before that in workshops in New York. Does that even count? So Idina Menzel creating that role. And also another very, that resonates with the gays. And also, Maureen in Rent, originating that role on Broadway, the queer character in Rent. And also Elsa in Frozen, another who's got, like, Let It Go, another really powerful liberation ballad about how I'm going to stop trying to hide who I am. I'm going to just let go of all the restrictions and limits. What's the line? It's time to see what I can do. Reject the limits and break through. It's not reject the limits. But something like that. You know what I'm saying? She's got, like, these, like, fuck you, I'm doing my thing songs. I'm going for it. I'm going to do it songs. And I just think it's really powerful how Idina Menzel, the wickedly talented Idina Menzel, has created all of these different, these roles, these characters who are very different, but also empowering in ways that I think sit well with each other. Like, I would enjoy seeing a dinner, a dinner party or a forum or, I don't know, like, leading a parade. Elsa from Wicked, Elphaba from, Elsa from Frozen, Elphaba from Wicked, and Maureen from Rent. And also she's, like, flapping around that tree from, what's the musical, what's the play that Idina Menzel's in where she's climbing a tree the whole time? I'm sure somebody in the chat will know, and somebody else in the chat will be like, what are you talking about? She speaks in verses. Wickedly talented Adele Dazeem is echolalia for me. It's like cellar door, right? Like, it's just something very beautiful about those sounds. If not for the fact that he got her name wrong, that's like that he accidentally, like, named her incorrectly, which is not cool. But is it Redwood? Is that the name? That sounds right. Yes, Redwood. Okay, thank you. I knew there'd be queers in the chat who knew. So anyway, yes, the wickedly talented Adele Dazeem. I will tell you, I don't want to spoil anything. I'm being vague about this. There's a television program that name-dropped Adele Dazeem unexpectedly, maybe like 2 or 3 years ago, and I just about fell out of my chair and shrieked. It's very funny, and I'm glad, like, I've seen Adele, I've seen Idina Menzel talk about it, and that it wasn't a great experience for her at the time, but it seems like she's come to terms and made peace with it. She's let it go, and I'm glad that she's moved on with her life. Look, she's laughing all the way to the bank. I think Idina Menzel's doing just fine. Anyway, M. Frederick M. says, a retrospective musical in 2060 that's about Idina Menzel and just uses songs she's sung. I love that idea. Oh, my goodness. What is it called? It's Mostly Menzel is the name of it. Mainly Menzel. But nope, that's terrible. But no, I do love that. I like a tribute to Idina Menzel. Like, long overdue. Honestly, I would like, there's that wonderful night with Kristen Chenoweth at the Hollywood Bowl. Like, she did this concert where she's at the Hollywood Bowl. I mean, it's what it sounds like. She's at the Hollywood Bowl and she's singing. What else do you need? But I would love to see a tribute to Kristen Chenoweth where it's like that Stephen Sondheim birthday concert where it's just other people doing the songs and she's sitting up there on the stage. I want one of those for Idina Menzel. I want one of those for Kristen Chenoweth. Obviously for, I don't know, Patti LuPone. For, like, all the grands dames. A jukebox musical that's Idina Menzel themed. Yes. Oh, that's your karaoke night. It's a karaoke night and you're only allowed to sing songs that Idina Menzel has done. I love that. Oh, she did a concert version of Hair in 2001 as Sheila with an energy easy to be hard that totally recharged the role. Amazing. Is that the one with Gavin? I forgot his last name. Oh, no. He recently passed away. Creel, thank you. Was that the one with Gavin Creel? Because he was in a Hair just after that, I think. That was really well regarded. They performed at the Tonys, and it's wonderful. Anyway. Oh! Pograj. I think you actually got it. Days by Dazine. That's pretty good. Yeah, Michael S. says, an evening for Bernadette Peters, please. Look, here's the thing. Is... like a karaoke... Here's the thing. Take over your local karaoke bar. You know, you've all got local karaoke bars, right? And that are, like, ready for a hostile takeover, like you're Napoleon marching in there to sing. Just make arrangements with them and be like, tonight, it's only Bernadette Peters songs. And you've got, like, a special book. And I don't know. Here's the thing. It would be really hard not to do Bernadette impressions that whole time. She'd be a good Madame Morrible, wouldn't she? Anyway, back to the Wizard of Oz and such. So as I was saying, The Wizard of Oz, very popular with the gays. So there's this book, Friends of Dorothy, Why Gay Boys and Gay Men Love The Wizard of Oz. This is by Dee Michelle, who I've interviewed many times. In fact, I've interviewed for the video that you're about to see in 40 minutes. Dee Michelle's written extensively, did a lot of research. This isn't just like essays, although it's that too. It's essays about why that might be. But also, it is a really exhaustive survey. With, really good research methodology, interviewing people, doing these qualitative and quantitative surveys, interviews with people about why the gays, why it has resonated with the gays. And I'm very curious about, how people have experienced this. Like, for me, when I was coming out, actually, I would say past that, beyond that, after I was out, I was living in San Francisco, and I certainly noticed, annual screenings of The Wizard of Oz at the Castro Theater. You go to the bookstore that I forget the name of. What was the name of the bookstore on Market? Anyway, you go to the bookstore and they've got, Wizard of Oz stuff there. You go to gay, novelty and bookstores and they got, Wizard of Oz snow globes and things. And it's just well, I guess this is just the thing, is we're really closely associated with this. And it makes sense, right? For one thing, her group is super gay. The lion, obviously, he's a dandelion. He got a permanent just for the occasion. Very gay. I can even bring him back up. Hold on, where are they? Boop, 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 because we're right there. There, look at him skipping along. And this dynamic, right? The three gays and their lady friend going out to the bar. This image right here, if I can find the pause button, there it is. This image right here of three gays, arm in arm, skipping down the road to the gay bar with this lady right in the middle. Goodness gracious. How familiar is that to so many of us? And also, they're all the Tin Man is so emotional, and the Scarecrow is floppy, let's say. The Cowardly Lion has the limp wrist, who, by the way, he never calls himself coward. He never calls himself the Cowardly Lion. And surely there's the other lines. Gregory Maguire finally gave him a name in his books, but throughout the books, he never says he never introduces himself that way. I feel bad for him that people say here's my friend, the Cowardly Lion, and he's oh, I never called myself that. It's like that video of the woman being doing an impression of Raggedy Ann, learning that that's what people call her, and they're what did you call me? People call me Raggedy Ann? Why do they call me Raggedy Ann? Anyway, Dandelion is a good drag name, that's true. Lizanne says, the MGM film was magical to me, and then the books resonated with me because of Ozma. Yeah, I know, this isn't something I'm not going to be talking too much about the queerness of the books, yeah, there are, in the books, there's a line where Polychrome, which is another character in the later Oz books, says to Dorothy, you have a lot of queer friends, literally uses the word queer. And obviously, queer was not really closely associated at that point. It's 1907 or so when these are being written. Queer is not slang for gays at that point, but it's not a long walk to insinuate, to interpret queer as meaning a lot of, just unusual, and okay, unusual friends could mean a lot of things. Anyway, Polychrome says you have a lot of queer friends, Dorothy, and Dorothy says the queerness doesn't matter as long as they're friends. Now, that is a line that I think is really lovely, genuinely beautiful. Thank you, L. Frank Baum, no relation. And, what a nice sentiment. The queerness doesn't matter as long as they're friends. That's so nice. That's so nice. And that is a line I think that speaks to a lot of people from different, who are marginalized in a lot of different ways, in a lot of different axes. Whether you're, there's something about you that's queer, whether there's something about, meaning gay, or homosexual, or gender nonconforming, or whatever you want to say. Or, speaking to people with disabilities, speaking to people who are religious minority, or ethnic, or racial minority, people who are different socioeconomic classes, people who work in unusual career, like anything that makes you feel like, what am I doing with my life, or why can't I fit in? What a great line. So anyway, what is that username? Oh, what a top I am? I don't remember. I don't think the original film was much of a hit, if I remember. Yeah, we're going to be talking about that. That in 39, it did okay. It wasn't like a flop. It wasn't like people were like, what is this garbage? It was no Delirious. But we just watched Delirious with John Candy. That's why it's on my mind. Anyway, it didn't do great because 39 was the year of so many... It's a crazy year for film. Gone with the Wind, Of Mice and Men, Ninotchka, Ben-Hur? Was that? No, that wasn't Ben-Hur. What else? I'm forgetting a whole bunch. But there are so many major important films in that year that, like, The Wizard of Oz gets in there and just gets crowded out. It lost money when it initially was released. It took a decade for it to become profitable. For The Wizard of Oz to be profitable. So anyway, not the case for Wicked. But anyway, so, obviously then it became like associated with queer people eventually. And so, as I was saying, Ben-Hur, Lizen says Ben-Hur was the 50s. Not my Ben-Hur, not my Ramon Navarro Ben-Hur. I only want the gayest of Ben-Hurs. And that's the one with good old Ramon. Let me see. Let me get rid of this freeze frame. Amazing year. Oh, Stagecoach. Yes, Lizen. I knew I was missing some good ones. Stagecoach. I know. Oakle Cannot. The year of World War II. Yes, I guess that too. There was a lot competing for people's attention. And Babes in Arms, of course. Judy Garland had 2 films that year. She had Babes in Arms and The Wizard of Oz. And the thing is, Wizard of Oz is crazy expensive. 2.5 to 2.8, depending on how you do the accounting. Super expensive for the time. It would cost about $70 million in today's money. It was just like unheard of for a movie to be that expensive. Anyway. So what was I saying? Yes, I was going to ask, like, how have people experienced this? Because for me, it was like the screenings at the Castro and things in gift shops. But I spoke to, a variety of people, including some younger gays. I spoke to some queer people who were themselves kids when Wicked came out. So I talked to Emma McMahon, whose channel is Media Processing. If you like my videos, you should check out Emma's videos on Media Processing. She just has a new one about the Wicked stage to screen adaptation that's lovely. Anyway, I talked to Emma, who saw it in, I think, 8th grade. And so it was a little bit more of like comfort media from childhood, she said. So, which is a very different way of looking at it. That's kind of what The Wizard of Oz was for me. The Wizard of Oz was just sort of always in the air. It was something from childhood, and then as you get older, you start to notice things like Linda singing "Come out, wherever you are," and what a drag queen the Wicked Witch is, and there was something else I was going to say. Oh yeah, just like what a bunch of gays her friends are. Anyway, and the longing of like going somewhere over the rainbow and the rainbow itself, like how much gay stuff there is to plug into The Wizard of Oz. She Who Speaks Inverse, I'm 29, so it's always kind of been around. Yeah, that's true. I'm sure that's a way of looking at it, or a way of experiencing it, engaging with it, that like it's just always been in the air. That's how The Wizard of Oz was for me. It's just something that's always been in the air. It's like how like Shakespeare itself. Shakespeare is just something that has always existed. But that wasn't the case. I remember James and I went to see Wicked when it was like Best of Broadway at the Koran in San Francisco, when it was just in tryouts before it was on Broadway, and it was a very different show. There was a different song in it. Elphaba was sort of a different character. There was a lot of stuff they had to iron out before it opened on Broadway a couple months later. And so we saw this early version of Wicked in 2003, and I remember at the time being like, that was okay, but like it had problems. And I remember, like, we saw that, and then we saw, a little while later, Urinetown, and I was like, well, Urinetown's clearly a better musical. Obviously, Urinetown is better. I mean, Urinetown's great, but, as a crowd pleaser, it didn't quite hit in the same way. Anyway. So, people connecting with Wicked is something that's always existed. I think for a lot of youngs, youngs, people who are like in their 20s now, Glee is something like that, right? Like Glee has always been the musical thing that has always been around and you always engage with, for better or for worse, mostly worse. Yeah, Catherine Alvarez says, Ozma, yeah, we're roommates, Dorothy, and it's perfectly normal to share a bed. I should know I'm from the Midwest. Yeah. And Oatafam says, Somewhere Over the Rainbow was a huge record for soldiers in World War II. That's interesting. I have not seen so much about that. We'll talk about Friends of Dorothy and like when it happened. I don't want to shoot that load too early, to use a disgusting metaphor. Oh God, She Speaks Inverse says, I was a kid when Muppet Wizard of Oz came out. Wowee. Okay. And Frederick says, I remember getting Wicked when I was like 10, reading a bit of it and realizing, oh, this seems way too adult. Oh, my. Yes, indeed. Here's what I'll say. I do like... Oh, my goodness, this huge stack of books. I do like Wicked. I think it is worth reading. I think it's a great book. And if you're expecting something like the musical, gird your loins. It's quite different. But here's the thing. If you watch The Wizard of Oz, and then you go read the book, expecting an experience like Judy Garland... gird your loins for that, because that's going to be very different too. The Wizard of Oz, the novel, the L. Frank Baum 1900 novel, super different from the movie. Just, in the same way that Gregory Maguire felt very comfortable adapting that book for his thing, Winnie Holtzman and Stephen Schwartz, very comfortable adapting this Gregory Maguire book onto the stage. Anyway. 39 was the start of World War II in Europe, and things were tough in the USA because we were trying hard to avoid being pulled in, says Vampire Bear. Yeah, I know, and there's a lot to distract people at that point. Gracie loved Urinetown. I know, Urinetown is great. Morgan says, is it a childlike camp? Unspoken, perhaps? I think that is part of it, yes. I think for the queer appeal, and the universal appeal, honestly, of Wizard of Oz, I think something that's really lovely about Wizard of Oz is how many ways in there are. As if you're just a kid, and you're watching it just right from the beginning. You get Dorothy being like, "Why doesn't anybody understand me?" Hold on, let me get it up again. We're gonna look at this. And by the way, there's lots more to say about all this, and we're gonna be going over to Twitch. I'm gonna be live streaming over on Twitch after the new video premieres. So we're live streaming over here on YouTube right now. The new video is gonna go live, and once this ends, it should send you automatically over to the new video. In case it doesn't, I just realized I need to set that up. In case it doesn't. There's a link in the description. So we're going to, after this live stream, new video premiere, and then after new video premiere, we're going over to Twitch to watch a whole bunch of additional Wicked stuff and talk about it even more. Hold on, let me make a little tweak to this. Change the settings here. Nope, we're not deleting it. Setting up the redirect. There we go. There's the redirect. Save. Okie dokie. Anyway, so once this live stream ends, we're going to watch the new video that I'm putting out in 30 minutes. And then we're going over to Twitch to watch even more. So anyway, join me for all of those. So what was I saying? Oh, there are a lot of ways in. So you're looking at Dorothy here, and just right in the beginning, when she's trying to talk to Anna M, and she's like, yeah, let's get her audio up here. Here's these adults ignoring her. They're too busy. They've got their grown-up stuff going on. This is so relatable to kids, right? Like, Dorothy, please. We're trying to count. I never registered to me that they are dealing with, like, chicks. They're dealing with their baby chickens. They're juvenile. They've got other children, the baby chicks. They're more worried about these babies than this 12-year-old girl who's like fretting at them. There's a line in the screenplay where Anna M says something like, "Poor little." Oh no, it's Uncle Henry says, "Poor little orphan." That's how he refers to Dorothy. Poor little orphan. A little on the nose. And Frederick asks, "How long is the new video?" It's about 1:05. Nope, about 1:05. Can you imagine? It's a short. I spent the last month working on a short. No, it's 1:05. So anyway, a lot of ways in with Dorothy here. We got this beautiful, beautiful song. Somewhere Over the Rainbow, incredibly gorgeous. They were going to cut it. It's like Part of Your World in The Little Mermaid. Executives were like, she's singing in a barnyard. It's not glamorous enough. We can't have a star like singing like this. God, look at this beautiful transfer too. It cut it. Thank God they didn't. We got Miss Gulch here, obviously. Elmira being like really Elmira, that's her name, right? Yeah, Elmira Gulch. Being so unpleasant, like the mean lady. We all have known the mean person who is giving us trouble. And obviously, like, the bright color and the gorgeousness here. There's so many ways into this film to just, like, appreciate and admire how gorgeous it is. What were we watching? James and I were watching... Oh, we were watching Be Kind Rewind's new video yesterday. And she's got a new video about, like, Wizard of Oz at Sphere. It's not the Sphere, it's Sphere. And she noted a couple really nice things that they do with Wizard of Oz 39 here. One of them is, because this needed so much light for Technicolor at the time, this is Process 4 Technicolor, which was very light intensive. There's a giant light well that you can't see between the set and the backdrop. So there's this like 12-foot pit full of lights shining up onto the backdrop.
Something, didn't you?
Just look at these colors. Look what a gorgeous movie. Oh yeah, Lizen says Salman Rushdie has a beautiful discussion on The Way Over the Rainbow Resonates. Yeah, there's an interesting... So Salman Rushdie's essay on it has some interesting things to say about Wizard of Oz. One of the things he notes... I mean, obviously, Dorothy being sort of a stateless character. Gosh, who better to write about that than the author of the Satanic Verses? But also, he calls... And I don't know if I agree with this. In fact, I don't. The Wizard of Oz an authorless film because there were so many people working on it and so many different... It had 3 different directors. It had... Who did it have? It had Victor Fleming. It had Victor Fleming eventually. George Cukor was there for a little bit. And then I forget who the first guy was. Thalberg? No. No. He was totally different. Disconnected from them. Anyway. He calls it sort of an authorless film because there's so many people pulling and pushing on it. But that's every movie. Like, every movie's like that. And I do think there is a singular vision, eventually, coming from Victor Fleming. You know, by the point that we're assembling the film, I do think it is his. Richard Thorpe, thank you very much. Of course, somebody in the chat knows the brief initial director of this. Oh god, and you can see the reflection of the lights here. Look at all these different colored lights they've got going on. Like, you can see right there in the little crystal ball there, all the different colored lights they've got, like, shining on it up in the rafters. Yeah, Catherine says movies are group projects. I agree. Like, there's no movie you can look at and say, well, this is, there are multiple people working on this, so it's authorless. That is absurd. You call, Taxi Driver is authorless. The Wizard of Oz is authorless. Inception is The Matrix is authorless. Like, whatever movie you want. There's definitely an authorial through line throughout. Anyway, so the reason we're talking about this is because of how closely this resonates with queer people, and also Wicked doing something very similar in a different way. Let me get that up too. Let's see, where do I have it? I know I've got Wicked in here somewhere. Here it is. A much wider film. Also, we're going to take a moment to appreciate this stunning Universal Pictures logo. They've done such a nice job. They did such a good job with this logo. Look at how good this logo looks. I know this is a very dorky thing to get, like, excited about, but this Universal logo looking so good, and appropriately, it's the post-Lemley Universal logo. So this is a variation on the Universal logo that that Universal started using after the Lemleys were kicked out, when it was the new Universal in 38, I think, 37, 38. So it's, let's see here. Do I have a comparison? Let's see. I don't have one easily available. But anyway, you'll just have to take my word for it. There was a 1939 version of the Universal logo that looked a lot like this. And I think it's very nice that they, they did their own version of it. It's not the original Universal logo, but it looks great. Anyway, so this version of Wicked which I do agree, you know, there's the criticism about how it being, like, desaturated and kind of colorless. Hate to say it, but, like, James and I were, like, looking at it on vector scopes yesterday, which, you know, that's the kind of household we have. And it's true, the color is really muted. It's very gray, with one exception, obviously popular. Let's just find for comparison. Where is it? There. Look at this! This is the one moment in the entire film when we're like, oh yeah, color exists. You compare it to, like, the Technicolor of Wizard of Oz 39. I mean, good grief. That whole movie is gorgeous. And not that this movie isn't gorgeous, but it's dark. It's dark and muted. Like, this color palette. Topham says, never really thought of it, but I don't associate the Wizard of Oz with a particular director, unlike, say, Frankenstein, for instance. That's interesting. Yeah, I guess, you know, I do think... Look, here's the thing, is you associate it with Judy Garland, right? Maybe with Margaret Hamilton, maybe with Billy Burke, and if you're into dance, maybe with, like, you know, the dancers. But when you think Wizard of Oz, and you're like, who's the name on Wizard of Oz? It's Judy Garland. You know, there's other movies where you think, like, director, but, you know, it's not an auteur film in the way that we would think of with, like, oh, I don't know, yeah, with Martin Scorsese. Anyway, but yeah, I just regret that this movie is so muted, because there's so many things about it that are just gorgeous. Like, the performances obviously are great, the music is great, the dances. Hold on, we just got to appreciate the spinning library set for a second. Also, bisexual Fierro over here. What an icon. I love that they made him so sexually liberated. You know, not just because I like that kind of character, but also the Scarecrow has kind of been iconically bisexual from the 39 version, because he has that one line. He has one line where he's like, of course, some people do go both ways. Or no, people do go. Of course, people do go both ways. He's got that one line, so that's always been associated with bisexual characters. And so they made Fierro bisexual, probably not just because of that, but they gave him, like, you know, a gender, detached his appeal from gender. He's just happy to see everyone. Okay, this business here, with him, like, oh my goodness, those pants just hugging him. This business with this set, all fucking practical? Are you kidding me? This giant thing? Like, I can't believe nobody was killed on this set. Like, people were horribly injured on the set of 39 Wizard of Oz. I can't believe people weren't, like, more damaged by this incredibly dangerous rotating washer-dryer that they had to build. Look at this, like, all the stuff he's got to do. These incredible parkour dancers. That move? Are you kidding me? And this is all one shot? You're doing this in camera? This is practical? They're not on wires? Look at that spin, like how he's got to attach himself to literally actually going upside down. There's a flip. There's a flip coming up that is so mobile. And this, also the camera operator. You know, first of all, designing this shot, I'm freaking out about this shot, this whole sequence, because it's just so gorgeous. But where is it? Let's see. Oh, there it is. I got to the end of it. That little move there. There's so many people doing incredible things here. There is a flip. Okay, so watch this flip that's coming up in this camera move. It's incredible stunt. This guy is running towards us. You see him, like, facing us. This jump and roll. That's not like, there's not like trickery there. You know, it's not like they stitched together multiple shots. They just got that. They were only allowed to do 3 takes because it was dangerous, because that was, you know, they're asking a lot of all the dancers. We're gonna watch it one more time. Here it comes. Here he comes, leaping at us, flip, roll, and just keep going through the legs. What a move. God. Anyway, gorgeous film. And obviously this little move here, like, oh. He's so physical with everybody. So this movie, obviously speaking to queer people on a lot of different axes, but also, you know, in this relationship with Glinda and Elphaba here, like how...
Come on.
easily sapphic a read of this relationship can be. There it is, this moment. Miss Elphaba, you're beautiful. Look, hold on, we're just going to appreciate this line here for just a second. Let's bring this up.
Look at you. You're beautiful.
This is, I mean, gosh, what incredibly fortunate casting to find these people who, like, the genuine chemistry that they've got. And, like, obviously, you know, you've seen, I'm sure, lots of interviews with Cynthia and Ariana, and, like, they genuinely do love each other. You know, probably not romantically, but they genuinely do love each other as friends, and it's just so nice. It's just so nice! And these characters, like, you know, it's such a short walk to be like, they are... You know, in a different world, they would just be the two lesbian ladies who have a nice house down the road. I think it's an interesting way that they play that, too, because I think there are versions on stage where Elphaba realizes she's getting a little too into the being beautiful, and she's, like, letting somebody get too close to her, and she's like, I gotta go. Like, she doesn't like it. She's like, I can't let you see me like this. But this I gotta go is more... I don't know, grateful? Like, I feel like she's leaving feeling really good. She's exiting the scene, Elphaba is exiting the scene feeling happy.
You're welcome.
Also, we just have to appreciate her little, oh, hello here.
Oh, hello.
She's so funny. I hope Ariana Grande is just like all in on movies now, because I just want to see her in movies. She's such a good actress. She's so entertaining. Just do every musical, please. I mean, I would love to see her in like Chicago. Like, I think she'd be an incredible Roxy Hart. I want to see her in, I don't know, The Music Man. She'd be an incredible Marion the Librarian. I just want Ariana Grande to do every musical. Anyway, I know some folks were talking about the making of. Yeah, Geekishly says it was in the making of. Yeah, we have that. We're going to be watching that on Twitch. Let me see. Less wire work than you would think. Where do we have them? Let's see. Wicked. Oh, I'm looking at Frankenstein. That's why I can't find it. La-da-da-da, Wicked, Blu-ray, da-da-da-da.
Hand lift.
Okay, so we've got this whole, like, Wicked making of special. There we go. So we're going to be watching this on Twitch after the premiere of the new video in about 14 minutes. Oh, my stars. Oh, boy. I'm always so worried that I uploaded the wrong version, or there's something wrong with it, or it doesn't play in stereo, or whatever. I always check these things. It's going to be fine. Don't worry, everybody. It's going to be fine. Everyone, just calm down. Relax, everybody. It's fine. So the new video is going to premiere in 14 minutes. We're going to end this live stream, go over to watch the new video. It's going to be a live watch along. I'll be in the chat. We'll all watch it together. Then we're going to hop on over to Twitch, and we're going to watch this making of special, this Wicked making of special, over on Twitch. And here's just a little sample of it. There they are. Look at them spinning around.
Huge part of the language.
Look at this. There they are. And you can see, like, here's the behind the scenes. Here's the making of. Maybe, I guess it's possible that they removed some VFX for this making of, but I doubt it.
So for me,
like, obviously they did some color work.
Well, I've done a lot of work in the dance world. I was so excited to get my interpretation of movement here. We've had giant dance calls. We saw thousands of people. So we've got an amazing...
I just imagine how difficult this was to cast.
And they're all shapes, all sizes, all ages, and the diversity is amazing.
If you feel different, it's like,
I love that they're like all ages, and they show a woman who's a little bit older than everybody else, and then everyone else is 21.
a language that isn't of this world.
No piece of choreography was without thought.
Okay, no piece of choreography was without thought. Thank you.
That lent itself best to this facility.
There's that move. There's that move. Crazy. Like, look at him, like, just getting spit out of that thing like he's a sock coming out of a dryer. That's how he would want to be described, I'm sure.
Itself best to this.
And look, this is such a small thing, but you see that blue up the very top? Usually in these making ofs, these behind the scenes, they take out the blue. They like make the blue gray, so you don't. Oh, we didn't do blue screens. They make the blue gray in the behind the scenes footage. But no, they left the blue in. I think that's nice. This obviously had to be a blue screen production instead of a green screen because Elphaba's green. However, unfortunately, everybody's costumes are blue.
What's been amazing about this for me has been that thing of really falling into something huge and trust the free fall, but also trust the expertise and the generosity and the kindness of people around you.
Everyone.
That move just
seems to
like blows
be,
me away.
The best at what they do.
Who's on
They're b-boy dancers.
It's like, who's on stilts in this movie? I don't know why somebody was on... Oh, it was for the Oz stuff. The Emerald City stuff. Look at this giant set. That, like, everything's... There's so much practical. Anyway, not the practical's always better, but I think in this case it actually is. Anyway, so we're going to be watching all this behind-the-scenes stuff over on Twitch after the premiere of the new video in 11 minutes. We're talking about lots more gay stuff as well. So much, oh my god, so much gay stuff in Wicked. Gosh, what a beautiful set too. Everything just came together so nicely for this film. As you can tell, I like this film. We saw part 2 as well. I enjoy spending time with Wicked Part 1, I think, more than I enjoy spending time with Wicked Part 2. And there's also a really nice concert that they did. Was it One Great Night? One Wonderful Night? They did this concert film to promote the second film on NBC. You can watch it streaming on Peacock if you've got that streamer. It's just genuinely very nice. It's just the performers coming out, doing some songs, and, you know, entertaining a crowd. It's just lovely. It's just lovely. What else we got here? Oh, and of course, there's like all this stuff, and I'm sure they don't get into this quite so much in this behind-the-scenes making of. But there's the politics. There's the wizard stuff. There's like what they're doing with the animals. This statement about scapegoating a vulnerable minority and finding an enemy, and it's just so timely, right? Like, you know, I think part 2 gets into it a lot more than part 1, but the creeping fascism of the charismatic leader is just like, you know, for a book that was written in 90-something and a play that came out, a musical that came out on Broadway in 2003, it really feels like it was written for right now, which is it's just wild. And it's something that I think, you know, it's not just queers who will resonate with that, but it helps. But it is something I think that is quite familiar. Like, oh, the way the animals are being treated is really similar to the way that a lot of different, like, vulnerable groups are being treated right now. IRL. And that was certainly, you know, on Gregory Maguire's mind as he's writing this. And also on Stephen Schwartz's and Winnie Holtzman's, like, if I dig deeper into this research pile for just a moment here. There's this book. Oh my god, it's vast. This whole, like, making of Stephen Schwartz's career. Lots of great details in here about the making of Wicked, obviously. Open right to it. Lots of great details in here about the making of Wicked. And also, you got to get the right edition. You got to get the I think it's the 3rd edition of this book. Highly recommended. Cambridge Companion to the Musical. The latest edition gets into Wicked. I mean, there's like version of this going back to the 80s, I think. Maybe the 90s. No, 80s. Possibly even earlier. And it's this incredible, detailed accounting of the making of musicals, going all the way back to, like, you know, the wave after the Florenz Ziegfeld, you know, tableaus. The tableaux vivants. But basically, like, 1930 on, the making of musicals. It's a fantastic resource. Highly recommended. Put it on your Christmas wish list. Cryptic Term says, Frank Morgan was the wizard and several other characters. Hoping to see Jeff Goldblum in the film, but the crowd shots blending in. Oh, that would be fun. Like, if they gave him other roles, like they did with Frank Morgan. I don't think that would make as much sense in this one, because it's not like there's this whole angle of Dorothy maybe just having a dream. Oh, Two Nut says, if you ever do a book signing tour, it'd be great to see you in person. Nothing firmly on the calendar yet, but I am thinking about doing some of that in 2026, in the coming year. So if you have places that, specifically if you've got like bookstores, colleges, I don't know, movie places, whatever. if there are places near you that you think would want to host a talk, I would love to come to your town and do a talk and sign some books. And I've got like presentations that I do about like the Golden Girls and about other stuff. I'd love to come to your library or bookstore or college or civic center or candy factory, whatever it is, and do one of my talks and sign some books and hang out and talk about movies and stuff. Do this in person. Anyway, so I'm thinking about doing that in 2026. So let me know if there are places near you in the U.S. or elsewhere where you would like to see me appear. People come and go so quickly around here. All right, what are we at? We're at 6 minutes. 6 minutes till the new video goes live. Let me just... I'm going to put the link in the chat in case you need it. So this video is going to end. This live stream is going to end. We're going to go over to the new video, which is about to premiere. We're going to watch that all together. And then we're going to go over to twitch.tv and we're going to watch this making of special. Ariana Grande is going to be frozen in time in front of this camera until we resume on Twitch, twitch.tv/MattBaum. Link to that in the description as well. But here's the new video premiere is right there. There's the link. Kieran Moore says, you should come to the UK. I can get you to a Queer Lit Fest in October. That sounds fun. Puppy Sores wants Dallas. I would love that. Cryptic Charm also saying London. Take you to the best places. I love that idea. Corwin wants me in Victoria, BC. Oh, I've never been to Victoria. And she's never been to me. Great local bookstore in Acton, Mass, halfway between Boston and Worcester.
Home of the Children's Museum.
James says home of the Children's Museum. Boston is home of the Children's Museum, or is Worcester?
Acton.
Oh, Acton's home of the Children's Museum. Because wasn't there? I feel like there was a Children's Museum in Boston too.
There's the big one in Boston.
Oh, okay. There is the big one in Boston. Also, is the museum? I thought maybe that's in DC. She Who Speaks Inverse wants me in Chicago. I'd love to visit Chicago again. It's been a while. New Orleans says Rosemore. I've never been to New Orleans. Can you believe I've never been to Louisiana? Remember? Oh, yes. And thank you very much. Context Wrench. Remember to thumbs up all streams. Yes, do give it a thumbs up. Give the new video a thumbs up, a like, and subscribe, and a comment. The comments, all that stuff really zhuzhes the algorithm. It tells the algorithm, hey, somebody liked this. I should show it to other people. So please do click all the buttons. You know, it's like one of those noisemaker machines. It's like a Bop It. You gotta press it, spin it, flick it, lick it to my videos. Cherry Pigeon wants me in New Orleans as well. All right. Oh, and there's a Children's Museum in Illinois. All right, I'll just do a tour of all the children's museums. That doesn't make sense. And hi from Brazil. Says, look, bring me to Brazil. Blow me to Bermuda. East Midlands in the UK. I got a lot of UK recommendations. Look, I have not been overseas with my book. I would love to go to Europe. I'd love to go to UK and Europe. I was just looking at some... I would love to go. It's been years. I went to the Schwuss Museum in Berlin in 2007. Really want to go back. Hugh Lemmy and some other folks, like the Bad Gays, are doing such good work with some of the queer institutions in Europe. I really want to visit some of those. It's been a long time since I did a bunch of like Pride coverage in Europe many years ago. And I would really love to go and talk about like old, sitcoms and classic films and all that stuff. Anyway, and Raver Hates wants me to go to Ireland. I'd love to go to Ireland too. Gosh, yes.
Where should people message you?
Oh yes. If you have a venue, if you've got a bookstore or college or library or candy factory or whatever, Blue Sky is probably the best place to message me. I will definitely see your message on Blue Sky. Send me a message there. Obviously, not on Twitter. God. Send me a message on Blue Sky if you've got a venue that you think I ought to go to. That's the best place to message me, and also follow me and all that stuff. All right, we are coming up on time very soon. So we are. Ever seen Nimona? Did we start? I think we started watching that, and then something distracted us. I can't quite recall. Anyway, but thank you for the tip. Greatly appreciated. And thank you for watching, and thank you to everybody who's a member over on Patreon. By the way, Patreon viewers get the videos a little bit early and without ads, so join me on Patreon for early ad-free access and also videos every week as well for patrons. What was I going to say? Yes. Okay, so we're going to wrap it up here. Thank you for joining me. We're going to end the stream. If it does not send you to the new video automatically, there's a link in the description, but it should send you to the new video automatically. We're going to watch the new video. It's about an hour long, and then we're going to jump on over to Twitch. We're going to watch this behind the scenes right here. We're going to let Ariana Grande finish hopping on the bed. We're going to watch that on Twitch, twitch.tv/MattBaum. I'm going to post that link in the chat one more time. The premiere starting soon. There it is. So we're going to watch that. Then we're going to jump over to Twitch, and I will see you on Twitch for more of that. Phew! All right, folks. Thank you, as always, for spending this time with me. What a pleasure to have you here. And I'll see you in the chat for the new video. Oh, boy, I should get that fired up. I'll see you in the chat for the new video in just a few moments. Okie dokie. Bye, everybody. Goodbye.